Melbourne band Tinpan Orange are about to release their fifth album, Love Is a Dog, and I'm currently joined with Emily. How's it going?
Hi, good. How are you?
Oh, can't complain. Thank you for inviting us to your house.
Pleasure.
And for the lovely coffee.
Sure.
And for the fantastic album as well.
Thank you.
So it's been a work in progress.
It's taken a long time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the longest we've ever taken. But I think it's paid off.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a really well-produced album. Now, we caught up about 12 months ago, almost to the day, for the Peninsula Picnic.
Yes, yep.
And you were talking about you were spending a lot of time writing at the moment and not really gigging. 12 months on, this is the end
that's
product.
what happened, yeah. So we sort of took maybe 2 years kind of off the road. We did sort of the random gigs here and there, but we mostly just focused on writing and recording. This one, it was like a year of recording, so going in and out of the studio and like 3 days here, 2 days there, and just kind of patching it together, which we'd never done before, and which was good and bad in that process,
So, I mean, this being your fifth album, and you've obviously approached it in a different way because you've taken it over that length of time. How much of the album had been written before you went into the studio, or was it like an ongoing process?
It was an ongoing process, which is also why we had to do it that way. I mean, it was kind of just that our lives got quite busy. I had my second child, and Jesse had his first child, and my husband was touring a lot with his band, so life was just a bit crazy. And my husband is Harry Angus, who produced the record, so we needed him, in the country. So it was just kind of cut up like that because of life. But it sort of it came together.
That's great. And the first single, Rich Man, it's quite a somber track and very gentle, beautiful vocals throughout the song. And it's different to some of the other tracks on the song, like the title track, Love Is a Dog. When you're recording the vocals and you're putting it all together, how do you go about that process? Was it very much a decision from the beginning that it would be sung in a certain way, or is it a lot of trial and error?
Well, actually, Rich Man is it was this really cool thing for me, like where I discovered almost kind of like a new way of singing. I co-wrote that song with Harry and Jesse, and somehow the three of us together, I think it was Harry's sense of, he's got a really beautiful sense of melody, and he sort of wrote the melody of that verse, which kind of sees me singing in a sort of falsetto kind of head voice. And at first I was like, I can't really sing like that, and he was like, just try it. And I did, and it was actually really quite it wasn't hard, it didn't feel unnatural, and so it was kind of the beginning of me singing a bit differently, and I then went on to write a few more songs, we sort of using that part of my voice, which is really exciting.
It's great. And with the actual song itself, because it's quite a low sort of tone, and then you've got the high falsetto sort of vocals, it's quite the contrast. When you were putting that song together, was it always like that you were looking to contrast it?
Yeah, it was. We really I think we wanted that sort of sweet, high voice. We wanted that range and the sort of simmering, moody, dark kind of bed for it to be on. And
the video also goes quite well with that sort of moody, dark bed that you were talking about. It's very visual without being too visual, I guess. It's quite an interesting clip. Can you tell us a bit about putting it together, or the idea behind the video as well?
It was really fun to make it, actually. It was my idea to have this, woman who has these invisible hands, or hands that are from invisible body. He's putting things on her, expensive looking things on her, sort of, and then her by the end finding her own hands and her own autonomy and taking them off and kind of ending up sort of naked and free. So that was the idea, and the director, Jam Nawaz, who we worked with, he just totally got it, and he was just amazing. And it was just actually me and him behind the camera, and my two friends on either side of me in my friend's kitchen with a couple of lights. It was so low budget, but we had a lot of fun, and it was, but it was really, we were quite happy with how it turned out.
Probably if you'd gone and done something more elaborate, it wouldn't have had the same effect.
Yeah, I think, my approach to film clips is often just like simple is better, like a simple message and a simple execution of that message is often a lot stronger. And
Yeah. Well, talking about simple and minimal, you've been doing a lot of singing with just as a trio. How have you found, I guess, your voice in a live set as opposed to, say, in the studio, now that you're working with just a minimal amount of on-stage music?
Well, I do like singing in the space that is there when there isn't a rhythm section. I mean, I love our rhythm section. They're like the best players in the country. But it was a deliberate decision to sort of start touring as a trio, just to sort of. It is how we started 10 years ago. We started as a trio, and we kind of wanted to return to that sound. And it's kind of fun. It's a challenge to find ways to make the songs kind of have dynamic, but often there's almost more intensity when it's just the trio in some way. Yeah.
Right. No worries. And when you're on the road and doing it, obviously there's less people, and does that sort of translate onto stage of having, I guess, less worries? Is there only a smaller amount of people on the road?
Well, I don't know if it translates to stage. I actually love touring with our drummer, and so I actually really miss him on the road. But I think, it is definitely just more viable. It means we can do sort of smaller shows, and just keeping costs down on the road means that we can go and play a house concert one night, you know, and that's what we're doing for this tour. We're we're going to all the cities and stuff, playing venues, and then on the next night or whatever, we play a house concert, which is, something that we love to do. Yeah. And it kind of makes it a bit more viable. Yeah,
fantastic. Well, talking about the tour, it's coming up throughout April, May, even into June.
A little bit of June.
So it is a national tour in the complete sense, because you're going to Tasmania, Northern Territory, Fremantle, and of course the East Coast. Was it important to you to sort of reach all of the corners?
Yeah, it was. We really wanted to just go get everywhere. And you know what, after 10 years, we're a band who's sort of created our career through touring, and it's that's our lifeblood. We tour and we play festivals, and that's how we have created what we have. And so it was important to go to all the corners. Yeah.
And after the tour, we're looking for additional shows after this little run?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll do some more stuff in Australia as the year goes, but we also have a tour in Europe end of October and into November. We're going to be supporting the Cat Empire in Europe.
Oh, fantastic.
Which will be great, and then come back to Australia for the summer festivals again.
Sounds great. Well, love is a dog. You can definitely go out and get yourself a coffee, or a copy, not just a coffee. Thank you very much, Emily. It's been great to chat.
Thank you.
All the best with the tour and the album.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.